I genuinely do not know how the Razzies continue to get worse every single year. These nominations are pathetic. Now, they're not as anger-inducing, well, except for one movie that got a shitload of nominations for purely political reasons. We'll get to that in a minute. Like it was in 2022 when they nominated a freaking 12-year-old for Worst Actress, despite her performance actually being pretty good in that film, and it just being a scummy move in the first place. So before I get into these nominations, I would like to shock some of you by reading off a list of a few films through this little notes I have here, of films that did not get a single nomination in any category. The American Society of Magical Negroes, The Mousetrap, Megamind vs. the Doom Syndicate. I knew they weren't going to nominate The Apprentice, but they should have, because that movie was probably fucking garbage. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Hellboy the Crooked Man, and about 30 other films that they only didn't nominate because they weren't popular enough to nominate. Like Atlas, or My Spy the Eternal City, and yeah. So let's get into these terrible nominations. And the reason why these are so bad is because they literally chose basically 6 movies and nominated them in almost every fucking category. So, putting this aside, let's get into it, starting with Worst Picture. Borderlands, Joker Folie à Deux, Madame Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. Now, Reagan was nominated in almost every category for purely political reasons, obviously. So, yeah. But really, Megalopolis, you couldn't find any film to nominate, and they only have 5 nominations for Worst Picture. In my awards, I give 10 for Best and Worst Picture. So I know nominating it down to, cutting it down to 5 would be difficult, but really, and the other 3 were just the 3 most popular, well-known bad movies. So yeah, I'm not going to give them praise for those. Worst Actor. One thing I will give them credit for, that then goes out the window with the next one, is Jack Black for Dear Santa. Now, I obviously didn't watch that film, but I did do a video on it, so yeah. But then that goes out the window when they nominate Zachary Levi for Harold and the Purple Crayon. And I'm pretty sure the only reason they nominated him, because Harold and the Purple Crayon didn't get a nomination in any other category, so I think the only reason they nominated Levi is because he was a Trump supporter. And you can't convince me otherwise, because you know I'm right. Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, of course. Dennis Quaid for Reagan. Ugh. And Jerry Seinfeld for Unfrosted. I didn't watch Unfrosted, so I don't really know, but whatever. Worst Actress. Cate Blanchett for Borderlands. Okay. Lady Gaga for Joker 2. Alright. Bryce Dallas Howard for Argyle. Didn't see it, but whatever. Dakota Johnson for Madame Web, and here's the problem. Oh, Atlas did get a nomination. For Jennifer Lopez for Atlas is the next one, but Dakota Johnson as Madame Web, I have an issue with because her performance in the movie was fine. This is something that the Razzies have been criticized for ever since their inception. They will nominate good performances that just happen to be in well-known bad movies. Do I need to bring up The Mummy, where they gave the worst actor to Tom Cruise, it was either worst actress or supporting actress to Sophia frickin' Boutella for The Mummy, and I think they also nominated Russell Crowe, when none of their performances were that bad. In fact, Boutella's performance in that film was very impressive, so yeah, so they're still clinging to their old ways of being an inept piece of shit. Worst Supporting Actor, Jack Black for Borderlands, so they nominated him in 2 different categories. I don't like Jack Black, but why not just put the Borderlands one with the Dear Santa one? I don't understand that. Kevin Hart for Borderlands, that's fair. Shia LaBeouf for Megalopolis, I didn't even know he was in that. Tahar Rahim for Madame Web, who played Ezekiel Sims. And John Voight, again, they nominated him because he's conservative, for Megalopolis, Reagan, and Shadowland and Strangers. Really? Nominating him for 4 different performances? Get fucked. Worst Supporting Actress, Ariana DeBose for Argyle and Kraven the Hunter. Again, her performances were fine. Leslie Ann Down for Reagan, again, because it's a conservative movie, so they had to shove it in anywhere they could. Emma Roberts for Madam Web, that one's fair. Amy Schumer for Unfrosted, again, didn't even know she was in that. And then FKA Twigs for The Crow, which that one is also fair. But again, they're picking the obvious ones. The only ones I'm giving them praise on are the obvious ones that no one in their right mind wouldn't nominate. Worst Director, S.J. Clarkson for Madam Web. Again, they're just putting, the directing in that was pretty bad. Francis Ford Coppola for Megalopolis, blow me. Todd Phillips for Joker, okay. Eli Roth for Borderlands, and Jerry Seinfeld for Unfrosted. I had no idea he directed that. So this one is mostly fine. I would disagree with the Francis Ford Coppola, but I know there are plenty of people that would have also put that nomination there, so this one gets a slight pass. Worst on-screen combo. Oh boy. Any two obnoxious characters, but especially Jack Black and Borderlands, man, they are doubling down on bitching about Jack Black here, which is surprising because he's a big-time liberal in Hollywood, so I'm surprised they gave him a nomination at all, even though he was very annoying in that film. Any two unfunny comedic actors in Unfrosted, the entire cast of Megalopolis, they're not even fucking trying at this point. Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga, that's the only one that works here, for Joker too, obviously. And then Dennis Quaid and Penelope Ann Miller. Why? Because the movie was Reagan and it's about a Republican president. That's why. Worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. The Crow, Joker Folie à Deux, Kraven the Hunter. If you can't figure out the problem with this, you have the mental capacity of a cinder block. But in case you couldn't tell, this is not a prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel of fucking anything. Oh my god, man! Even the top of this, which was like reading out some of the nominations, like it was showing how many movies got nominated in a crap load of categories and criticizing the awards for it. Even they noticed, even though they said it's a bad movie, which I get, people didn't like the film, fine, whatever. But this website, which is what website is this actually? I have no idea what site I'm using here. Fuck me, it's Screen Crush, who I usually don't put any stock in, but they're just reading the list, so I just don't see how so there was no problem with it. But this is just retarded. Like, straight, like, this doesn't even qualify. And then the other two are Mufasa and Rebel Moon 2, which, by the way, only category those two got nominated in. And then the last one is Worst Screenplay, Joker, Kraven the Hunter, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan. The only two that should be on there are Joker and Madam Web. So, yeah, this is the worst year of the Razzies so far. Even last year, when they gave nominations to freaking Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania for stuff like Worst Director, and they gave Helen Mirren a nomination for Worst Supporting Actress or Worst Actress, one or the other, for Shazam 2, and gave Shazam 2 a Worst Picture nomination. God, these Razzies are such a fucking... I have a feeling, I'm starting to think that they know everybody hates them, so they're doing everything in their power to get more hate, just so they remain popular. Because the only way they remain popular is by people complaining about the nominations and criticizing them. That's the only way people know about the Razzies, is that they know them for being incompetent. They were supposed to be a lighthearted, almost like parody of the Oscars, but they have just turned into the Oscars, where all they do is nominate popular movies that people didn't like, or they nominate movies for purely political reasons. Like, even if you didn't like the Reagan biopic, fine, whatever, but there is absolutely no way in hell you can convince me that deserves a Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay, Worst Actor nomination, especially when Dennis Quaid played Ronald Reagan absolutely perfectly, and you give a Worst Screen Combo nomination for Dennis Quaid and the actress who I'm assuming played his wife in that for absolutely no fucking reason. And then you nominate Kraven the Hunter for Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel when it wasn't any of those things. This isn't even funny anymore. The Razzies used to be like, funny level bad. This is just ridiculous now. It's not even funny, it's just pathetic. So, that's all I got for this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.